who we are, why we're here, and what we're going to be talking about. Like Samantha said, I'd like to tell our story. Samantha and I, we're a military couple. We first met back at the United States Naval Academy, where we graduated from in 2009. And then shortly after graduating, we got engaged and married. And what that meant for us was, after you graduate from the United States Naval Academy, you're obligated to serve. So Samantha served for 5 years as an officer in the United States Marine Corps. And then I served 11 years as a Navy helicopter pilot. But what that meant for us was, early on in our marriage, early on in our life, we were going to be spending lots and lots of time apart. Okay. They couldn't get us stationed at the same place. So what that meant for us was the first 3.5, 4 years of our marriage, we would only see each other on the weekends, because she being in the Marine Corps and me being in the Navy, they just couldn't get us together. And it sounds crazy, but I'm grateful for that experience, because it put into perspective very early on in our life, very early on in our marriage, how important our time was. We had our first daughter, Evelyn, along the way too. And, we didn't have a money problem. We had good income, but what we didn't have was our time together. Okay. Those first couple of years of our marriage, between, my deployments and workups and training, and then Samantha, really high operational tempo where she was working, we had maybe 1 or 2 weekends a month on a good month, if we weren't deployed or training, to really spend time with each other. I look at this picture, on the left is leaving for my first deployment when our oldest daughter was just a year old. And then, 10 months, almost a year of her life, our communication was just this from the other side of the world in the Middle East. And then coming home from that first deployment. And, that was a very hard time for us, but I'm very grateful it happened, because it put into perspective how important our time was together. So we knew that we were honored to serve, but we wanted to try to find another way, because again, we didn't have a money problem. We just had a problem that we didn't have time together as one another. And I married her because I love her and I wanted to have a family with her. Okay. So we realized that we were praying for something else. Okay. We were honored to have served, but we knew it wasn't going to be our long-term, career military for us in the future.
And fortunately for us, a dear friend introduced a friend and fellow Marine officer of mine, shared an opportunity with us, which is Lifevantage. And that's really where we decided to commit, when we realized that this was a vehicle to our, potential freedom, as far as deciding what kind of life we have in the future.
Yeah. So right after, that our friend Sarah, fellow Marine Corps officer, introduced this to us, we saw it right away. This was going to be our vehicle. But unfortunately, I was leaving the next month on a 10-month deployment to the Middle East. So Samantha, I was cut off from communications for the most part. That's a hard one to say. But Samantha began listening to our upline, listening to our mentors, and sharing the message and the product and our products here at Lifevantage that we have to offer with, our family and friends and loved ones. And we started to see immediately results in our family and friends and loved ones, people we knew, loved, and care about, that was changing their lives. So we knew that our Lifevantage products were so powerful and so important. And then, I come home, and then a month later, I find myself out in Salt Lake City for a convention for our company. A couple of times a year, we get together for a training, and it happened to be in Salt Lake. And there I am in that picture on the right. I just got home from deployment, and I'm at this event. I know the products are amazing, because I personally have had experiences by this point. And I'm sitting here watching people, one after another, walk across the stage, one after another. There were Amish people. There were people who were lawyers. There were people who were doctors. There were people who, were farmers, bus drivers, truck drivers, people from all walks of life, people who had doctorate degrees and people who didn't have a high school degree. Okay. And all these people had taken advantage of the opportunity we have here at Lifevantage, and had developed leveraged income. Okay. 6-figure plus income through Lifevantage. And, I just looked at it, and that for me was the point when I said, okay, this is our vehicle, because these people, when you create leveraged income, meaning, you're not trading your time for money, your efforts are earning money for you while you're not working. That is leverage. And that was what we were seeking, because again, we didn't have a money problem. We had a time together problem. So
yeah, we wanted to spend time as a family together,
right,
and not away from each other in the best, years of our life, and actually choose what we were how we were spending our time. We wanted to homeschool our kids,
right.
We wanted to not be subject to a different job change or just future deployments all the time. And really, when you decided to commit, I mean, we mean that. Like, you weren't, in the Navy also getting an MBA for an exit plan. Like a lot of our fellow, naval officers, they were doing further education so they could maybe transition out of the military into a corporate world. But Ray and I didn't want that, right? We wanted, even if we lived a modest life, we just wanted to be with our family and spend time together. And so when we found Lifevantage, we realized that we could build it small or we could build it big. And that was just up to us and our level of commitment. I think this was definitely the deciding point, attending these events and realizing we were going to commit all in.
Absolutely. And we were committed to building our business because, again, we wanted leveraged income. And in order to have a leveraged income, you either need to be a best-selling author where people are going to continue to buy the book you wrote for the rest of your life, so you keep making money off of that said book, or you need to be a great songwriter who is going to, sell, downloads for their lifetime in order to keep income coming in for their family. I'm just not that talented. But what I saw here was average people from all walks of life generating leverage income. And I was hooked. And I said, this is it. We looked at each other. We committed to this like we committed to our marriage, that we were going to do it.
Yeah. And I will say, my father has been an entrepreneur his whole life. He started a traditional, brick and mortar business about 35 years ago. And that is a very hard road because you are the end all be all in that model. You have to invest, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in his case to just get started. You have to create the product, ship the product, get the employees, all of that. Ray and I knew that wasn't going to be a strategy for us because, one, we were still in the military. Like, we couldn't just, quit everything and launch into a business. We needed a business that we could do in the nooks and crannies of our busy life and begin and learn and grow in our off time, right? When we get home from work, when we put the kids to bed. That's what this type of business model, we could see the vision of was allowing us to do. And we didn't have to create a product. We didn't have to ship it. We didn't have to do any of that. We just had to use it and love it and then share about it. So this is a little bit of our journey and what transpired after we decided to commit.
Yeah. And like I said, we committed to growing our business like we committed to our marriage. There was no exit strategies. And one thing from the beginning was that you listen to your mentors because they have already created what you're trying to create. So we listened to what our mentors said. Okay. We dove into personal development. We showed up to events so we can make sure we get trained properly. And we dove head first and got to work. And what happened was over time, it didn't happen overnight, but
not a get rich quick by any means. This took us several years just to learn and grow.
Over time, doing this, the daily disciplines day in and day out over months turned into years. Our team's growing. We're having success. We're helping hundreds, first, a couple dozen here or there people with their health and finances, then, a couple hundred, and then a couple thousand. Before you know it, it seems like it happened really fast in retrospect, but really it took many years to build this. And, but we just continued to plug into the system. And that's the beautiful thing here. We didn't have to recreate the wheel. We weren't business people. Okay. I was a Navy pilot. Sam was a Marine Corps officer. We had no experience whatsoever in business. We were just hungry for a change. Okay. So thankfully, the thing I loved about this opportunity was we plugged into a system that was proven to help people get from where we were to where we wanted to be. And we did it day in and day out, brick by brick, step by step. And it was an immense blessing for our family. So, I think about different types of businesses I've seen, Samantha's father, his manufacturing business, other brick and mortar type, traditional businesses.
Even like a franchise.
Yeah, franchises, which
Chick-fil-A.
require huge upfront capital for many of them. And also, they require a lot of your time. And I look back at what we did here with Lifevantage over the last 9 years. I mean, it's not like we shut down our lives while we built this business. Not at all. I mean, we've had 6 children in the last 9 years. Okay. We homeschool our kids. We were both active duty, multiple deployments back and forth. Okay. So yeah, we were very busy people with a lot of stress in our lives. But the beauty about this business is you can take it anywhere with you. We've moved 14 times since 2009 when we were commissioned. Okay. 14 times. This business followed us everywhere we went. and it worked for us while we weren't working, which was beautiful, that leverage that we were looking to attain. So, if we can do this as active duty military officers deploying all over the world, I think it's safe to say that that's another reason I saw this as the best vehicle for the average person who has a busy life but wants to make a change, to tap into and take advantage of and build, so that when they want to make a difference or they want to make a jump. I look at that picture on the right there, my last day in the Navy, January 31st, 2020, happened to be her birthday too, my wife. And the smile on my face, I cannot tell you how good it feels. I've seen so many people, unfortunately, over the past 2 years had been forced out of the military for other reasons, that they didn't want to do certain things. But I didn't have to worry about where my income was going to come from. Okay. I didn't leave with a pension. Okay. You need to do 20 years of the pension, or if you get out, you need to finish time in the reserves in order to get your retirement when you're 65. I walked away with nothing because of the leverage we had built with Lifevantage, and I didn't think twice about it. Okay. So then, and again, I know the last, 2020 and on, the last several years have been, painful for a lot of people, been stressful. You've been forced to do things you didn't want to do, maybe, or you felt you had no other option, or you were, let's just say, it's safe to say that it's been crazy. And a lot of people have, felt, unfortunately, a lot of undue pain. I'm not saying this to gloat, but we didn't feel that pain. Okay. We didn't have to, worry about our business being shut down, like many brick and mortar businesses had to, right? We didn't have to worry about all the headaches that come from employees not showing up to work. We didn't have to worry about our business. We didn't have to worry about mandates or wear a mask to do this or a mask to do that, or get a shot or you're getting fired. Okay. We didn't worry about that at all, because we had built our business and a leverage business through Lifevantage. So what did we do? We enjoyed freedom of movement. We walked around the country, didn't wear a mask, didn't have to get a vaccine we didn't necessarily agree with. And, we were able to have freedom of movement and experience things with our families, with our children, at the time, 5 children and now 6 children. We went all over the country and we lived our life as we always have.
In our 15-passenger van.
In our 15-passenger van. And, it was a really enriching year. And again, I'm not saying this to gloat that we've had a great couple of years. I'm saying it because there was a time when I was forced to be away from my family for months and months at a time. And all I wanted was to be with them, but I didn't have an option to do it. Okay. So I know right now, if you're a mother or a father or someone out there who wants to make a change in your life, I'm sharing this with you because this is a vehicle. It may or may not be for you, but I'm telling you, this is our experience, and it's what it's enabled us to do. And if we can do it with our busy lives, you absolutely can too.
Yeah, just options, having the option to be where you want to be with whom, be with the people you want to be with. We wanted to be with our children, with our loved ones. Many people in the past few years, especially in the beginning of all the shutdowns, were being told, stay home, don't see your family, don't go to church. Because we didn't have to worry about going to a traditional job on Monday, right? Monday through Friday. We could move around. We got in our car and drove across the country and visited our family in Phoenix, Arizona. We were able to go to church, find a church that was actually still open, even though it meant we maybe had to drive a little far. We had these choices that regular people probably couldn't make, and they felt their freedom was completely stripped of them. So we hope and pray that, in the taking away of a lot of freedoms, especially over the past few years, that you will start to consider how can you gain that back for yourself. And this is a vehicle that really could give you that. Lifevantage could give you those options if you're seeking them. And that's why we're continuing to paint this picture of how our journey looked. So in addition to just being able to do this, what were some of the other things that we have been able to do as well?
So, we actually, when we're traveling across the country to see family, we actually, because we had the time and the freedom to go basically wherever we wanted, when we wanted, forever how long we wanted to, we started to figure out, hey, well, where do we want to go settle down now that we're out of the Navy? We traveled the country. We visited communities everywhere. You can name it, from Phoenix, Arizona to Florida, Kentucky, Virginia, and everything in between, Texas. And, we decided, we found the beautiful 50-acre homestead, and we bought it, and we're home, and we've been here for a year, and we don't worry about our income. We homeschool our children, and we get to live this life by choice, not by necessity. And we get to instill the values in our children that we deem to be important. We are raising our family on our terms because no one else gets a vote because of the leverage we've built with Lifevantage. And I thank God every day for it because I just think about where we were before Lifevantage, and there's no way we would have been in the position we are today with the options we have. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've been out of the Navy for almost 3 years now, and I've never answered to anyone. And I'm only 36. All right, so I think about that freedom and how good it feels, and I just pray that every other person on the planet sees this and realizes that it is an option to make a change in your life.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't come, guys, it does not come without very hard work. We can't state that enough, that this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for anyone looking to get rich quick. This is for people who want to learn and grow and actually persevere, right? And lock arms with other people who are willing to take personal responsibility for their lives and do the same. That is what this has allowed us. And we've been able to attract the most amazing team of people who want the same. They want to be with their families. They want to get healthy. They want to help other people get healthy and in a natural way, right? So that's what we've just been sharing along the way. And that's how this business has grown. And like I said, it took us about maybe 4 years of just learning and growing and understanding this to finally really make a big impact financially. And it was about 6 years to getting to be able to, start replacing Ray's full-time income as a pilot and having the option then to be home together as parents and travel and all these things that you're seeing. So by no means was it easy. By no means is it get rich quick, but we do want to share a couple of little extras that Lifevantage also throws on top along this journey when you commit to the system. So what are some of the things we've been able to do?
And I'll say this, it looks like it's like the Instagram thing where like, you only see the highlight reels. I'll tell you, throughout all of this, we've watched the lives of people we know, love, and care about transform. People who are suffering with, things you can't even imagine, health concerns. We've watched literally thousands of people's lives change. So that makes it really easy to wake up every day and go out there and share this message, okay? And all this stuff is just icing on the cake, okay? They've sent us everywhere just for being a good person and sharing something that I would, quite frankly, be pretty mad, really angry. If I knew one of my friends knew about and didn't tell me, I would be very, very angry. There are other words I can use, but I'll just say angry. But I mean, they've sent us all over the place and all these all expenses paid trips just for doing a good thing and sharing something enough with enough people. Scottsdale, Arizona, that was a wonderful elite trip. Marco Island, Cancun, the Ireland trip was epic. Park City multiple times, Maui, the elite retreat that we earned. Yeah. They don't spare any expense, and if you go out there and do the right thing and share with enough people, you're going to be taken care of, not only financially, but then they pour these cherries on top, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And, like we said, everybody kind of is looking for a different thing out of life, right? For Ray and me, we were okay just building some sort of modest income. If that's what it took to be together as a family beyond the military, we were fine with that, right? What we have gained from Lifevantage, financially and in the experiences of these trips, so far surpasses anything that we thought was even possible. But then another aspect of Lifevantage really, really touched us, which is the culture of Lifevantage and the type of people that you get to surround yourself with and the mission. I forgot about this. Title to a brand new Jeep, guys. That was another thing that Lifevantage gave us along the way for achieving a certain level. When we reached that level of Pro 7 and held that for several months, they gave us the title to a brand new Jeep, not a lease, they didn't, strap us into a lease program. They gave us the title to a brand new Jeep. That was really special for the whole family. It was a really tangible feeling of accomplishment for our family and also for our team. It was fun having our team get to ride in it at one of our team events. So guys, so many things, but back to the culture. We are a culture of giving back and being true servant leaders and service oriented. And Lifevantage just always does such the right thing. You feel good about partnering with a company like Lifevantage. At every glamorous trip that they take us on, Lifevantage spends one of the days giving back to the local community. So when we went on our trip to the Riviera Maya, we spent a day cleaning up a school, a very impoverished school there in the local area, and helped build a playground there. When we were in Ireland, we spent a day making these princess wigs for children in hospitals, who were undergoing cancer treatments. We got to go and build homes for impoverished people in Mexico. And we even brought our daughter along for that experience, because a bigger mission here, aside from just, being able to maybe bring spouses home from work, or maybe just contribute to your family's finances. Aside from that, there's a bigger picture. It's what we're leaving to our children. It's the world picture that we're leaving, and being able to bring our 5-year-old daughter to a third world country to build houses. That is an experience that most children will never have, because their parents don't have the time or the finances to do it. And really, if you can give your family these experiences, these opportunities, and you can make this impact with your children, helping to grow their mindset, helping to understand, helping to allow them to see the world and see how they can give back to the world. That leaves a legacy, guys, far beyond anything that we're doing today. It outlasts us. It will live way beyond our time. And so that's kind of a bigger picture that I'd love to share about Lifevantage, is our service, culture, and just that giving back spirit. So we painted the picture, guys, of what Lifevantage can do for you, what it has done for us, and for the thousands of lives that have now been blessed through our business. But what I want to share with you now is what is it? How do we share this? If you're interested, if you're inspired, I'm going to give you a little just quick overview of how we actually do this business. We are the activation company. So we are educating the world about the concept of activating your body for the most optimum health. Doing it in a natural way with things that are, clean, natural ingredients, right? Inside the body and outside the body. We share the activation story. Okay. So we do this by letting people know and understand that we live in a toxic world, right? The health, the poor health that we're experiencing by and large as a society is not random. Okay. It's because we live in a world that is becoming increasingly toxic, whether we're talking about the processed foods that people have been eating for decades now. It's fake food. It's not real food that's nourishing to the body anymore. Even if you are trying to eat healthy, whole foods, many of our crops are compromised because of herbicides and pesticides. They are nutrient depleted. We have air pollution that we cannot avoid. You go out into the world and you're constantly bombarded by air pollution, which is causing damage to the cells of our body. If you use pharmaceuticals, maybe you use them because you had a diagnosis or an illness and you were trying to get better, and it might have, initially gotten better, right? It might have helped improve the symptom, but every pharmaceutical has a long-term lasting effect, negative effect in the long run, and it's happening deep down within your cells. Things like EMFs from our, the radiation caused from our Wi-Fi, our cell phones, all of these things that we cannot avoid in our society and in our world are breaking our bodies down at a cellular level, and they're leading to illness. You can see here, this oxidative stress, this toxic load, it leads to issues in the eyes, heart, skin, kidneys, joints, lungs, brain, everything, guys. It's all connected. So we share the story of activation because what people have been doing to try to combat this for the past several decades, they've been trying to just supplement, take lots of vitamins, try to supplement our deficiencies here. We know we're deficient in vitamin D here, so pump in, take a vitamin D supplement. We know that we should take a multivitamin because, it's good for us. That's what we've been told. But what we haven't really seen is, hard evidence and empirical data to show that it's actually making a difference. It's kind of like putting a Dixie cup of water on a house fire and expecting that to make a difference. That's never going to work. This direct antioxidant and vitamin, constant supplementation, it's only a one-to-one approach. It's not making a big enough dent in our overall health. What we found with activation, activating the body at a cellular level, is that you can have a profound effect on reducing that toxic load. 1 million to 1. That's the scale that we're talking about with activation. And so we share this story with people, and then we share with them how they can take advantage of their health, rather than constantly supplementing, constantly guessing what their body's deficient in. We simply flip a switch inside of the body, inside of our cells, and we do it naturally with few herbs and natural compounds. So our company is all about activating wellness inside and out. Like I said, most companies are kind of focusing on just the supplementation and commodity products, but Lifevantage is the leader in activation. It's a completely different concept. It started with the little yellow activator, which you may have heard about. Hopefully by now, the person who invited you here has told you the story of Lifevantage, which began with these 5 herbs coming together: green tea, turmeric, milk thistle, bacopa, and ashwagandha. It came together in one place and one time. And what the results were, they really were so profound, reducing oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. That then led to an ABC primetime news report. It led to universities around the world funding their own studies on this all-natural herbal pill. And that was just the beginning of the story, because today we now know that we can not only activate that one significant pathway of the body, we can activate the entire body simultaneously, in the cells of our skin, right? With our body care line and our skincare. In the cells of our brain, we can increase our energy, our focus, our clarity. We can activate our metabolisms for better and healthier weight loss and really fat loss, like that deadly fat loss. We can, activate all these different areas of our body simultaneously, and we're seeing the results. Specifically now with our brand new liquid collagen, guys, we are seeing very, very tangible results, and they're happening in a short period of time. This product was just launched less than 90 days ago, and these are the results, the real results. These are all friends of mine. I know these people, I've known them for many years, and these results are happening on the outside because of what's going on the inside, with our collagen and our activation products, of our Protanum activation products. So take a look at these things. These are what you have the privilege to represent. These real products that are not only showing tangible results, in our health, on our skin, in our hair, they are backed by countless studies, empirical data, which is showing actual numbers and results of what's happening in the body. This is important because when you represent a product, you want to have full confidence that what you're sharing with people is not hype. Yes, we get excited and we get attracted to these before and afters. They're remarkable. But when we can point people then to the science behind it and the real research, that is a huge deal. And that gives you a very big opportunity as far as a business goes. Yep. One last one. If you want to see any more pictures of these before and afters, or want to hear more stories and results, get with the person who invited you and ask them, show me more. Like, let me see some more. I'm very excited. You're going to find there's basically an endless pit of these stories, because it's really affecting everybody in such a big way. So just following the system. Okay. Ray talked about it through our journey. You attend the training. When Lifevantage has an event, a corporate event, you go. If you want to learn how to grow like the leaders in this business have, you go to the trainings. We have trainings on Zoom and online, and then we have training in person. And that's where you get to connect with the people who are really doing this, and you get a feel for the culture and the mission of Lifevantage. You grow your mindset. They said, read a book. We read the book, right? We've now read hundreds of books that have helped us to grow our mindset and really become the leaders that we need to, understand how to network with people in a positive and attractive way, right? You use the products. These are the most amazing products for your entire family. Us and our 6 kids, we use the Lifevantage products because we believe in them, and we believe they are the best way to living a healthy life naturally. You share the products. This is where, guys, we teach you how to do that. You, of course, can share naturally with the people that you know and love. Call them on the phone. Hey, do you want to take a look at this? Send them a text. I got something I want to show you. We have an app that helps you do that. It's very kind of streamlined to be able to do that. But we also have found that we can leverage the power of social media, right? There's so much social proof that can be shared on social media, showing those before and afters, connecting people to the resources, which are more people's stories, the research behind our products. We're just kind of connecting people constantly with the information and the people, the real stories, so they can make a decision if this is something they want to be a part of or not. And you earn income as you grow. That's the beautiful thing. Like Ray and I said, it wasn't get rich quick. It took us several years to just kind of learn and understand this, but we were making money as we were doing that. Then we reached a point a few years in where we were making significant money and our efforts were compounding. That's what's possible here. So just a few last benefits of this business for you to kind of think about, if this is something you want to get more information about, or if you want to dive right in. It's a gateway business. It's something that can help you go from, maybe you're an employee, you have no idea about entrepreneurship. This is a gateway into the world of business and entrepreneurship because it comes, one, at a low startup cost, and you don't have to have inventory. You use the products that you're going to use in your own life, and you share them. It has a built-in training system. So the people that enroll you and sponsor you into this business, they already have a huge team of people who have had success. So they're going to teach you and hold your hand to learn how to do this. So you have team and mentor support. There's no quotas and no pressure. If you've ever experienced other network marketing companies or MLM, you might have some stigmas that you've developed or some hesitancy. I urge you to take a look at Lifevantage and how we are paid, how our system works. We are very different. We do not pressure anybody to hit certain marks each month or else you're out of there. It's get in where you fit in. Whatever you want to do with this, you can do, and we will support it on all levels. And then there's tax advantages, guys. Once you cross over into that world of home-based business, your whole life kind of opens up to being able to write certain things off, like your home office area. You don't need to have a specific home office. You don't need to do anything fancy, but there are things that you can take advantage of with the tax system, like using your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, travel that you do. Lots of these things now allow you to take advantage of the tax system in a way that you couldn't when you were just an employee. So these are some things to consider. There's many, many more, but we wanted to touch on a few things that have really blessed our lives in this business to see if there's anything here that you want to learn more about. So at this point, there's some options to get involved. You can either just use our amazing products, get with the person who invited you here, and they will share their link. Super easy. Lifevantage ships the products to you, and that's it, and you're a happy customer. Or you can refer the products. You can use the products, refer them, and you can even get some coupons toward your purchase. So if you refer, you're going to get some money off of your next purchase as a customer. Or you can decide to build a business with this. You can build it small, sort of some supplemental income. You can build it casually, reference it, share it with people, and get paid when you do. Or you can take it seriously. Do what a lot of us leaders have done and dig in, do the training, follow the system, and really change your entire life and many people's lives in the wake of that. So guys, we want to just say thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you for trusting the person who invited you to take an open-minded look at this. And just get back with them. Let them know where you stand. If it's not for you, that's no big deal. But we would be so honored and blessed if you do decide to lock arms with us. And we hope to see you in the future. So have a great night and God bless.
God bless.
Bye-bye.